Being a player of a national team is a honor. It means that you are one of the best of your country. Does that mean that if you don't play for your national team, you're a bad player? Of course not. Maybe it's just that the player has too many competition in its position. Or maybe they're not ready. Who do you think are the best players that haven't debuted for their national team yet? Well, in this video you will know the best players that haven't played for their national team. Kevin MIER is 24 years old, one of the best goalkeepers on the continent, and he has never played for his national team. Although he was Colombia's starting goalkeeper at the 2019 U20 World Cup, MIER began his career at Atlético Nacional and won the league championship in 2022. The following year, he was signed by Cruz Azul in Mexico, where Kevin has shown exceptional form. David Ospina retired from the national team after the 2024 Copa America, finally opening the doors for Nestor Lorenzo's call-ups, although MIER is currently the third-choice goalkeeper. Now, to make his debut, Kevin MIER just needs Camilo Vargas and Álvaro Montero to step aside. Only one Inter Milan player has yet to make his debut for his national team. The unfortunate one is Yann Bisseck, a 24-year-old center-back. It's curious because it's not like Germany has too many top-quality options in that position. But for now, Julian Nagelsmann has enough with Antonio Rudiger, Jonathan Tah, Nico Schlotterbeck, Robin Koch and Waldemar Anton. There's only one position on the field that doesn't keep Luciano Spalletti up at night: left back. For that spot he has Federico Di Marco, and if the Inter Milan player catches a cold, there's Andrea Cambiaso. If the Juventus man gets injured, there's still Destiny Udogie. And if the Tottenham Hotspur player gets lost, he can always improvise with the versatility of Riccardo Calafiori. This explains why Matteo Ruggeri, a starter for Atalanta since last season, continues to be called only for the youth national team. On the right back position, there isn't as much competition, which is why it's very likely that Nicolò Savona will soon appear in the Italian national team. Savona just debuted this season with Juventus, but historically being a starter at Juve is more than enough to get a direct pass to the national team. Besides, Savona has performed really well, so much that Luciano Spalletti called him up for the last Nations League matchday, although he stayed on the bench. That's why he's in the video. Alejandro Grimaldo made his debut for the Spanish national team at the age of 28. He had to leave Benfica before finally being considered. When the left back moved to Bayer Leverkusen, Benfica signed another Spanish player to replace him: Álvaro Carreras, one of the many talents from Real Madrid's youth academy who wasn't given a chance. One of the many great players that Manchester United simply wasted. Álvaro Carreras' only problem is that he was born in the same country as Grimaldo, Marco Kurela and Alejandro Valde. It doesn't matter how precise his perfect crosses into the box are, or how many titles he collects in Portugal. Until he leaves Benfica, he will hardly be considered for his national team. When Mike Maignan was at the peak of his career, he had to be Hugo Lloris's backup in the French national team. Ironically, Lloris finally retired, and just then, Magnan's form declined at Milan. If things continue like this, Didier Deschamps might have no choice but to try Lille's goalkeeper, Lucas Chevalier, who has had an outstanding Champions League campaign. Particularly with his performances against Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid, he proved he is ready for bigger challenges. His name is Mika Biereth. He's a center forward and he's 22 years old. Until the end of 2024, he played for Sturm Graz, with whom he competed in this season's Champions League. Although the Danish player left the Austrian Bundesliga 3 months ago, he's still incredibly the top scorer. Biereth moved to Ligue 1 and is thriving at Monaco. 6 matches and 7 goals. Not bad for a player who has never been called up to his national team. Dutchman Yann Maatsen is one of the many gems from Chelsea's youth academy. His loan at Burnley, including a promotion to the Premier League, was a great success that reopened the doors for his return to Stamford Bridge. However, Maatsen never managed to impress Mauricio Pochettino, so he had to move to Borussia Dortmund, where he shone for 6 months. He scored a crucial goal that knocked Atletico de Madrid out of the Champions League, and was a starter in every game for Dortmund, including, of course, the Champions League final. The season ended and Maatsen was on vacation on a yacht in Greece, when, due to last-minute injuries, he was called up for the first time to his national team for Euro 2024. Great! Except not really, because he didn't play a single minute. In fact, Maatsen has been called up 9 times for the Netherlands, but Ronald Koeman hasn't had the basic courtesy to make a single substitution to finally give him his international debut. Anyway, Aston Villa paid 45 million euros for Yann Maatsen, a left-back who still hasn't played for his national team. Stefan Ortega is a backup goalkeeper, but he's one of the most solid and reliable backup goalkeepers in the world. He has played a lot of matches for a backup. In 3 years at City, he has played 48 official games, 21 in the Premier League, 7 in the Champions League, and 20 in cup competitions. His performance has been pretty good, much more consistent than Ederson's, to be honest. But not even Manuel Neuer's international retirement nor Ter Stegen's injury have helped him make his international debut. If Enzo Millot had been born in any of the other 210 countries in the world, he will surely already be a national team player everywhere. But Millot was born in France, so he has to wait his turn. Last season, the midfielder was the standout player for the surprising Bundesliga runner-up, Stuttgart. His level didn't go unnoticed by Thierry Henry, who called him out for the Paris 2024 Olympic team, just like many other talents who still haven't been able to debut for the senior national team. Igor Paixão made his debut at Coritiba and is now in his 3rd season with Feyenoord, where he has won a league title, a cup and the Eredivisie's Goal of the Year award. However, Paixão's breakout season has come in the Champions League, where the Brazilian led Feyenoord to an unexpected victory over Milan to secure a spot in the round of 16. Although Brazil is going through a talent crisis, Paixão's bad luck is that he plays in the one position where they are fully covered, with Vinicius and Rafinha. That's why the left winger is about to turn 25 and he has never been called up to the Brazilian national team. However, if anyone is destined to debut sooner rather than later for the Seleção, it's the powerhouse Murillo. Nottingham Forest has been the biggest sensation in the Premier League and European football this season, and their left-footed centre-back is one of the main reasons behind the team's surprising success under Nuno Espírito Santo. Murillo, who joined last season from Corinthians, is the cornerstone of their defense. Nevertheless, for now, Brazil prefers Marquinhos, Gabriel Magalhães, and the injured Bremer and Eder Militão. Alright, Nottingham Forest's star player is Elliot Anderson, who joined this season from Newcastle United. Anderson is a midfielder who played for Scotland's youth teams, but when he was called up to the senior team in 2024, he chose instead to play for England's U21 team. England doesn't have an abundance of defensive midfielders to partner with Declan Rice. So, if he maintains his form this season and if Thomas Tuchel turns on the TV, Elliot Anderson should soon make his debut wearing the Three Lions crest. He looks like he's 14, but Maghnes Akliouche is already 23, and his name remains unpronounceable. But the day will soon come when Maghnes Akliouche is so well known that saying his name will be second nature. For now, he plays for Monaco, although probably for not much longer. And in what position does Akliouche play? Usually as a right winger. The same area of the field as Ousmane Dembélé, Michael Olise and Moussa Diaby. A player of his quality will have already debuted for any other national team in the world, including Algeria, which formally invited him, but Akliouche left their messages unread, because he wants to, and more importantly, because he knows he can play for France's senior team, as he showed in the last Olympic Games. Monaco's other gem left winger, Elise Benseguir, wasn't as optimistic as Akliouche. Instead of waiting for France, he chose to play for Morocco, which is not a bad national team either. Benseguir probably looked at the situation and thought something like, well, if Didier Deschamps hasn't even called up Désiré Doué, then he's never going to call me. The truth is, sooner rather than later, Doué will play for the French national team. Otherwise, Paris Saint-Germain wouldn't have paid 50 million euros for a player who hasn't even been called up yet. Doué is a left winger who used to play for Rennes and already has 5 goals and 7 assists this season under Luis Enrique. If any player has earned a spot among the world champions, it's Bologna striker Santiago Castro. The former Vélez Sarsfield player moved to Italy in 2024 and it's stirring it up in Serie A. We're only in February and the 20-year-old already has 8 goals and 7 assists this season in Italian football. His name is Dean Huijsen, and if nothing strange happens, he will become one of the best defenders in the world, if he isn't already. He was born in Amsterdam, but he's not Dutch. He made his professional debut at Juventus, but he's not Italian. And he's impressing everyone at Bournemouth. But he's not English either. Huijsen, believe it or not, is Spanish. He first played for the Netherlands youth teams, even reaching the final of the U17 European Championship in 2022 with the Dutch national team. But last year he switched to Spain's U21 squad. So how did he become Spanish? Well, when he was 5 years old, his family moved to Malaga, where he grew up until Juventus signed him at 16. Surely a Frenchman Robin Lenormand and Aymeric Laporte will temporarily block his spot in Spain's national team. But make no mistake, Dean Huijsen will soon be called up to the senior team, and alongside Pau Cubarsí, they will form the best center-back pairing on the planet for generations to come. Still, no one in the Netherlands will shed a tear over Dean Huijsen leaving the Dutch national team, because the Netherlands has an abundance of 3 things: windmills, tulips, and especially central defenders. Every top Premier League team has a Dutch centre-back. Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool, Mickey van de Ven at Tottenham Hotspur, Sven Botman at Newcastle United, Nathan Ake at Manchester City, Jean-Paul Van Heck at Brighton, Sepp van den Berg at Brentford, Matthijs de Ligt at Manchester United, and Jurrien Timber at Arsenal, although Mikel Arteta turned him into a fallback. That's quite a lineup. Impressive. Now make sure to remember the name Ryan Flamingo, the leader of PSV Eindhoven's defense, who will surely be the next to make the switch to the Premier League. As for when he'll join the national team, well, who knows. One thing's for sure, if football were played with 11 centre-backs, the Netherlands will definitely win the next World Cup. Earlier past month, Manchester City paid 60 million euros for a 23-year-old who has never played for his national team, Nico González. He's not even the most famous Nico González. He was a Barcelona gem who couldn't make it under Xavi, moved to Valencia and nearly got relegated, and then revived his career at Porto. Playing for Manchester City should theoretically open the doors to Spain's national team. But the challenge is figuring out how on earth he'll compete with Pedri, Gavi, Fermín, Mikel Merino, Fabián Ruiz, Pablo Barrios, Martín Zubimendi, and Rodri. Jamie Bynoe-Gittens has already spent 4 seasons with Borussia Dortmund. He has played 93 games, starting 53 of them, and has 16 goals and 10 assists. These numbers are still not enough to get him out of Gareth Southgate's waiting list, and earned his debut for the England national team. Gittens plays as a left winger, a position that, not long ago, England seemed well stuck in, with Jack Grealish, Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, all of whom are now shockingly out of form. Did any of these players surprise you that they haven't debuted just yet? Probably all of them will play sooner or later. But what do you think? Who do you think will debut the first? Who do you think they should replace? Or most importantly, do you think they deserve it? If you enjoyed this video, remember that you can subscribe and comment. That will help us a lot.